I see that you actually have Cali connections, bro. Are they to blame for the? Are you to blame for the sound and us stealing Cali sound, bro? Cause everybody know you the first that was connected, bro.
Tulsa police arrested a man they say shot a rival gang member. Investigators say they connected 21-year-old Quijon Harian to the shooting that happened back in June. Investigators say they matched the shell casings found at the scene to a gun that Harian owned.
I got hit in my eye, nigga. My left eye is gone. Shit.
Motherfuckers know who it was, right?
Tulsa police say inside the car with the shooter, his brother, this man, Darian Henderson. Police were able to catch up with Darian back in May, but the gunman in the case, a man police identified as DeAndre Henderson, is still on the run.
Quijon Harian, also known as 4800 Osama, was on track to becoming one of Oklahoma's most recognized street rappers. But despite his success in catching the attention of gangsters across the state, his career had to see a brief pause, primarily due to the deadly street war in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In this deadly gang war, 48 Osama would find himself stepping off the football field and onto the streets, tackling the opposition head-on, giving up a possible career in football to jump deep into the field known as the 40s, where he fought to defend the 48 Denver-made Hoovers and take on anyone who opposed him. Before he came 4800 Osama, he was known as Quijon Harian, also referred to as Dex. 48 Osama played football for McLean High School from 2017 to 2021. Here's where he developed a deep love for the sport. Osama dedicated much of his time to training, pushing himself to become the best player he could be. With dreams of someday making it to the NFL, he envisioned a future as a professional football player. The harsh reality is that while Osama was out on the field playing football, he and his friends found themselves tangled in street conflicts with rival neighborhoods. Osama himself admitted that he never wanted it to end this way. He had a deep passion for his football career, but the ongoing street tensions, which tragically led to the deaths of his friends, ultimately pushed him toward the streets. In fact, he went as far as saying that he was groomed to become a gangster and was forced into the gang life. But one of the major events that deeply affected Osama and transformed him into a determined 48 member was the death of Mikey on June 11, 2019.
Tulsa police are working to learn more information about a deadly shooting near East 51st Place North in MLK. At this point, detectives say they can't call the shooting a homicide because they're still waiting to hear the ruling from the medical examiner's office. Homicide detectives say they talked to people who were inside the home when the shooting happened, but no arrests have been made.
There were rumors circulating about a strange backdoor situation surrounding Mikey's death, although investigators and the police department classified it as a self-inflicted wound. Even though the police department labeled the injury as self-inflicted, this hasn't stopped his rivals from dissing him, with the 48 Hoovers creating a new gang called Mikey Land, which many credit to EBK Tootie for its formation. However, the history of the 48th gang is rumored to trace back to Pooh 8, who established it before his unfortunate crash out, which led to his passing. Pooh 8 is said to have taken the 48 Denver-made Hustle Gang and transformed them into Hoovers, with a blessing from the 57 Garrison Block Hoover Crips. But even before this, the 48 Denver-made gang always maintained ties to the Hoovers through Mikey's father and uncle, despite being a Black Flag gang at the time. The EBK movement was later adopted and established by Osama and Tootie, who brought California's Stockton flow into the Tulsa music scene, though Osama's sound was way different than this in the beginning, with 800 shots being proof of this.
Nah, 800 shots come behind me, niggas. I love my spotters, bitch. Don't fuck with snakes, but I'm sliming, niggas. I'm tryna wipe the bitch. Don't shoot right when you timing, niggas. I'm tryna knock some shit. I ain't crashing out my young niggas. I'm tryna hike my gym. Respect, you know that's everything. And I love loyalty. Niggas that go.
But what set them apart from others was their unique alliance with the EBK Nightingale Bloods and Crips, uniting members of these rival gangs under the same cause to kill everybody who goes against them. One might assume this gang is made up entirely of bloodthirsty serial killers, but when you examine their numbers, you begin to understand the mentality they've adopted. With over 10 rival neighborhoods expanding throughout Tulsa, including the notorious Crips and Red Mob Bloods, it becomes clear why they were forced to adopt such a ruthless approach. This ongoing war between the 48 Denver gang and the Red Mob would escalate into a deadly confrontation, with one particular 48th affiliate, Darian Henderson, also known as Tricky, finding himself caught off guard. While Tricky was out in the streets, a Red Mob Blood member rolled up on him, pulling down the window and firing several shots. However, in a stroke of luck, Tricky tripped over a brick, and although he was struck in the eye, he survived, gaining a signature look as a result of the injury. Tricky managed to escape the situation, but Osama would also become embroiled in the conflict with the Red Mob Bloods, a topic I covered in my Hoover documentary, which I will now play. On June 14, 2020, 48 Osama was said to pull up to the Savannah Landing apartments. The Savannah Landing is historically a home for the Red Mob Blood set in the area. The Red Mob Blood set is known as the Five, the same gang that Osama was dissing in the snippet.
5K, a nigga fly K.
5K, a nigga fly K.
It's said the 48 Hoovers had a lengthy history of beef with the 52 Red Mob Bloods, and on this day, it would escalate. He allegedly let off multiple rounds at a group of Red Mob members hanging outside the building. Gunfire would allegedly erupt between the two groups, but when the smoke cleared, a teen was found hit, taking bullets to both legs. The teen was expected to recover and be released from the hospital soon after the incident, but he refused to cooperate with law enforcement, likely fearing retaliation for snitching. 48 Osama would go weeks without getting caught, but Tulsa police were already on his trail. They had intel on his activities and were aware he'd been trying to sell the gun used in the shooting. Osama would attempt to sell the gun on Marketplace, but what he didn't know was that the cops were one step ahead. 2 months later, the police tested the shell casings from the shooting and found they matched Osama's gun. Allegedly, there was also footage of Osama carrying the weapon in his waistband as he ran back to his car. It didn't take long before he was arrested and charged with crimes tied to the shooting. 48 Osama is currently locked up in the Oklahoma prison system. 48 Osama isn't backing down when it comes to the beef, which led him and other members of 48 to expand their presence across Oklahoma, reaching places like Muskogee. However, as they gained more attention from the ops, they suffered a major loss when a member, EBK J8, was allegedly caught by their rivals after dissing them 2 years ago in a song.
You niggas pussy, y'all some bitches, y'all won't blow shit. Y'all stay flexing with them gleeks, but won't get on shit. Tell your big homie next, he a dumb bitch. Take them niggas off the turf.
But Redditors have claimed that the relationship between the 48 Hoovers and their rivals wasn't always as hostile as it is now. Some allege that the 48 Hoovers had ties to the 5-tray Rolling 60 Crips, with EBK Dinero 3 reportedly being affiliated with both the EBK Hustle Gang and 60 Crips, while repping 3 Shy World. It's said that EBK Dinero passed away in 2015 after a failed robbery attempt, where he jumped through a window and accidentally shot himself in the main artery, leading to his death. If this is true, it's hard to understand what might have sparked the conflict between them, since 2015 isn't that far back. But as with many gang conflicts, a lot can happen in a short time. As for another beef involving the 40s, it's believed to have started over a woman. Osama and another man were reportedly seeing the same female, which allegedly led to a back-and-forth shooting between them. This conflict later became a prominent part of his music, with the Codys becoming some of his main rivals.
I just like the paper, shootouts in the 40s. The ops my neighbors, always been outnumbered, so I'm head first. Brother rolling Reggie up, he make my head hurt.
It's hard to pinpoint exactly when Osama began rapping, as he was known for uploading and then deleting songs, making it difficult to trace the start of his music career. But one thing that remains clear is that his music revolves around tragedy, with much of his work reflecting themes of loss, conflict, and hardship. Despite currently being incarcerated and aligning with the Hoovers within the Oklahoma prison system, but even with this, his music continues to make waves. Even from behind bars, he hasn't slowed down, dissing his rivals and releasing older projects from 2021. He's even recording new material using his phone while locked up, proving that his dedication to music and the streets remains unmatched. 4800 Osama is far from a studio gangster and has the potential to make a real impact, changing the sound and influence in Tulsa. The big question now is, when will he step away from the streets to focus on his craft and prove to everyone that he can go from orange rags to money bags? Thank you for watching another episode of Hood 187. If you're interested in an upcoming gang documentary I'm working on, focusing on the neighborhood Crips of Oklahoma, join the membership to get exclusive early access and watch it a full day before its official release.